Hey, Leo, Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring in your April 2025 love and family reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, welcome. I am hearing the phrase, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Perhaps some of you are from the big old state of Texas, right? Texas Hold'em. Or perhaps you or someone you're connecting with enjoys playing poker. And it could also be symbolic for you regarding knowing when to respond or react to a situation versus when to kind of hold your energy back. So I feel like you are being presented with a path or a choice in the month of April. Now you have the date card showing up here. Some of you are getting back out there and dating after a period of healing, or even working on your abundance, your stability, your finances in some way. Perhaps some of you are wanting to connect with someone new, maybe dating online. And others of you, you may be coming up against an anniversary or coming towards an anniversary here if you are currently connecting with someone. I feel like there's a special date ahead. This could also be the date of a loved one who's crossed over. There may be an anniversary or a birthday showing up in the month of April. I'm getting April 12th and April 14th are significant for you, Leo. Now, you also have the camera card. The camera can be about making new memories, but it's also about nostalgia. So for some of you, you're thinking about someone that has been very much present in your past. They may no longer be here in the physical realm. Perhaps some of you, this is you looking back on lessons from the past with a newfound sense of awareness, of understanding. I feel like you've learned a lot of valuable lessons from past experiences. And some of you are not looking to rush into anything new here, but I do feel like you're open to it because you have been on this healing journey, as I said, and you have the star showing up here, Leo, in the past position. You've completed a massive cycle. You have the World card here. I mean, you have some huge major arcanas. You have the World, you have the Empress, you have the High Priestess, you have the Star, you have the Tower. So this is a big month for you, the month of April. And I feel like you are shifting your beliefs in some way, or your foundation is shifting in order to align you with the happiness that you deserve and desire. Bottom of the deck, you have the Ten of Swords. You may have gone through an experience where you felt like you hit rock bottom in a way. You felt like you were either betrayed or this is a painful ending. Some of you, I feel like this may even be amicable, even though the Ten of Swords has a bad rap of very, very much difficult, okay, a lot of difficulty. This Ten of Swords is actually quite graceful. So what this tells me is, yes, there was an ending that was super difficult for you, but by the time it finally rolled around, it's like you were ready, because maybe you oscillated between staying and leaving, right? Knowing when to hold them, when to fold them in order to prepare yourself. It feels like there was preparation. And I feel like this energy is something you've been kind of in for quite some time, where you're still straddling the line of something that had occurred, because you do have the the World in reverse in the deep, deep past. So this just tells me that you were on a long cycle, a long journey. This is delayed gratification in some way, or it just feels like a never-ending cycle where, where's my happiness? When am I going to meet my person? Or when are things going to shift between me and this partner? So I feel like you have gone through something that was very, very challenging to navigate through. However, Now you are setting a date. Now you are opening yourself up to some form of celebration. Something good is coming in because you've earned it. You've been working hard towards opening your heart chakra here and forgiving, releasing any sort of resentments or bitterness that you've carried or held on to, maybe some sort of anger or just hurt, right? That 10 of Swords can be hurt, and mentally we tend to shut down. But the date card is saying there's a date soon approaching. I feel like it's again the 12th or the 14th that really shifts everything for you. It shifts internally where the past may show up. We're still in eclipse season. We're still in retrograde season at the time of this video recording. And I feel like this will impact you for the next 6 months. But instead of feeling like you're on this never-ending hamster wheel, it feels like you're finally starting to see progress in the physical. So let's dive in here. Bottom of the deck, you have the blowing kiss card. This is about unconditional love. Children may be involved here. Some of you may have children. This can also be about you really focusing on your self-care, or that's been your journey, right? With that 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And right behind the 10 of Swords, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So we are shifting from an ending into a beginning. The Ace of Pentacles, excuse me, is the hands that you want when you're playing poker, right? You want the pocket rockets, as they're called, the double aces. So you're able to play the hand. And I feel like you're able to play. You now have a hand that has been dealt to you that is worth it, worth taking a risk. And I feel like that's what the blowing kiss card is reminding you. There's reciprocity here. There's fairness. There's love. There's affection being returned. But again, you may have some choices showing up for you. Now, Page of Swords in reverse as your main energy is about honesty. This is about news, okay? News that may have come in that has either shocked you with the tower crossing it, but I actually feel like there's news that allows you to have a new beginning. It allows you to destroy some old structures. So the Page of Swords showing up here in reverse, I feel like this is you curious, searching for the truth. I'm getting like truth seeker. You are the truth seeker. Like, tell me the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And if you've been in denial about anything, or if you've been hoping or wishing for something to change, however, things have been stagnant, I feel like there's some epiphanies, there's some confessions, or there's some aha moments coming in for you. Now, for some of you, this is you asking the difficult questions. All right. This is you asking the difficult questions either towards yourself or with someone that you are currently in a partnership with. And some of these questions are going to be difficult, but I feel like they're being answered honestly. Okay. There's something here about needing to answer honestly, or it's about trusting your intuition if you feel like someone is not being honest with you. But the tower that's crossing you here in reverse says, don't resist the changes that are showing up. This is also Aries energy, and we'll be in Aries season until the end of April. So I do feel for you. The 12th and the 14th, we're still in Aries season. And that could be when things really get recognized, things get looked at, some sort of truth that you are seeking comes to the forefront. And it helps you complete a cycle, or it helps you gain some sort of closure. I really have a feeling this eclipse energy is impacting you in a big way. Some of you may even have Aries, excuse me, or Libra placements, because we are sitting in a 3-part series along that Aries Libra axis. And this is the third finalized completed series that had began back in 2023. So for some of you, this has been ongoing for the past few years. For others of you, this has even been like 10. I'm getting 10 years for some of you. So it may have been longer than that. But the world here is about graduation. This is about completion, victory, freedom. The world is your oyster. When I see massive change and endings coming in, this is a restructuring built on trust and spiritual alignment. Trust in the universe that even though certain things may not work out the way that you had expected, the way that you had hoped, the universe has something better in store for you. And you're starting to see that because you have the star in the recent past. The stars are aligning here to either bring in a soulmate for those of you that may be wanting to manifest a lifelong partner. Okay, for those of you that have wanted to heal or mend a relationship, perhaps with a family member, I feel like your prayers have not gone unanswered. And for some of you, you thought that they did. You've been praying, you've been asking the universe for a miracle. It reminds me of that song by Garth Brooks, The Dance, right? It's about unanswered prayers. And sometimes we feel like our prayers go unanswered, but God always hears them. And it may not show up in the exact form that we had prayed for, but it's better. It's oftentimes better because the universe is always working on our behalf, is always responding and reacting to the choices, the thoughts, the beliefs, the actions that we are taking and reflecting them back. And I feel like there was some sort of resistance here around a change because you may have wanted something the way that you wanted it. And Leo, I also feel like there may have been resistance just because you were still healing. And what happens when we are on a healing journey? We tend to look at old conditioning that's been created under circumstances that have caused a lot of pain. Therefore, we tend to go into maybe fight or flight, or we tend to shut down. We tend to build walls. We tend to not allow our hearts to open up to love. And I feel like that has all been addressed here for you. And you're really trusting in a higher power. You're trusting in your divine self, and you're trusting in your soul's purpose and mission. This is also a dream. The star is a wish granted. So I absolutely feel like there's a brighter future here for you. This is about your dreams, your inspirations. So I would say here, there's a dream being manifested, and you may not see it unfolding quite yet because you're still picking up maybe the pieces of some sort of an ending. But what's happening is you are going through a massive, massive heart chakra awakening. Your heart chakra is being activated where you're opening up to love on the highest form, the highest level here that you possibly can in this human form. And you may have had to have that heart broken wide open in a sense. But the Queen of Cups is a healer. She's a lover. She's an intuitive. She's a psychic. She's possibly in the caring profession. This is what's coming in above you. Either she is you, Leo, or she is someone you are calling in, attracting. Some of you may even be going to a psychic or a healer in some way in order for you to mend and move forward. This could be a therapist or a coach or a mentor even. I also feel like there's a psychic message that's coming in for you where you may not have understood the validity in it or the truth in it at the time that it was being given, but you see it all working out now. So for example, perhaps you've listened to something and you thought, well, I'm not sure if I believe in that. I'm not sure if it resonates. I'm not quite there yet, but now you're seeing it lining up. So this could be a reading that you did for yourself, perhaps months ago. This could be a reading that you received from another, or maybe one that you've even heard here on YouTube. But I feel like at that time, at that moment, it didn't really make sense for you, but now you're seeing how everything is playing out. Now it's time for you to really surrender, trust, listen to your intuition, because you do have the High Priestess showing up here. The High Priestess is showing up to remind you to get grounded, to meditate, to listen to your dreams. There's something here about communicating. You may have been holding back on your communication in some way, or perhaps you were not ready to say what you needed to say because you didn't have enough information. But I feel like now is the time. You now have everything you need to make an informed, decisive, intuitive choice. There's something here about listening, and I feel like you're protected. I see the runes above the high priestess here. These are sigils of protection. And I feel like you're getting a lot of downloads. Leo, pay attention to your daydreams. Pay attention to the signs, the symbols around you. The high priestess is Cancerian energy, where you're being asked to detach from an outcome in a sense and really connect with your own inner truth. I keep getting that phrase for you, something about the truth, like truth seeker. And this may even be about you connecting directly to source instead of listening to the truth of others in some way, or perhaps external truths. This is about your own truth. What is best for you, or what information is being given to you at this time that perhaps it's difficult to believe. But I feel like you are discerning between what's an illusion versus what is the truth. And that could also be, knowing when to fold them, knowing when to hold them. What is the truth that you want to hold on to, and what is the truth to fold because it's a lie, it's an illusion, it's falsified in some way. Now, you're showing up here as the Empress. You're ready to birth a new cycle. Some of you literally could be pregnant. You may even hear news of pregnancy or birth in the family. Maybe someone is being born on a special date here. It could even be, I'm actually getting like someone is born on a date where a loved one has crossed over, or it's a loved one's birthday. It almost feels like the cycle of life here. So for example, if your grandmother has passed on April 12th, you may start a new cycle on April 12th. It feels like there's a blessing in disguise here for some of you. I'm also getting a name. It feels like someone is named Sylvie. I'm getting the name Sylvie. Could be named after a loved one. All right. Or you may be named after a loved one here. But the Empress is very creative, very fertile. She is the mother. She's the wife. She's the nurturer. She is Mother Gaia. She is all about love. And I feel like you are embracing the energy of the Divine Mother within you. You're feeling the Divine Mother around you. I mean, this is, excuse me, the most abundant energy there is, and you're getting a sweet taste of it here. Why? Because you've gone through this awakening of the heart experience. Some of you may even be opening yourself up to either marriage or family in some way. I also see for some of you, you've struggled with maybe a spouse, an ex-spouse, someone's family member. All right, there's a family member that may not be directly blood related. It could be an in-law, or, it could be a stepchild. It just feels like there's been a struggle here with maybe a younger person. And I feel like you have struggled to lay down a foundation. Maybe that's what's come between you and someone. Perhaps there's been a struggle in households, how to manage raising children in two different households here. And I feel like you've been praying and hoping. And the Queen of Cups, this mothering, nurturing, loving energy, it feels like because that's so connected to you, if this is a child, a grandchild even, it feels like the emotional part may be blocking, in a sense, the intuitive piece. Sometimes we can be so emotionally attached to something that it gets suction cupped to our face, and we can't quite listen to our intuition, or we don't want to listen because our emotions can override that at times. So just be mindful that you're listening for the highest good of all here, because the 10 of Cups is in your environment. The 10 of Cups is the ultimate blessing here. It is happiness, family, community. It's happily ever after. However, it's showing up a little bit sideways. I feel like the energy is kinked here. So this means that there's something in the family worth addressing. It can be lack of emotional fulfillment. Perhaps there's someone in the family that has been draining you or hasn't been as fulfilling as you would like this dynamic or relationship to be. This can also be feeling disconnected from your loved ones in some way, or just feeling disconnected from your own self. And that plays a big role when it comes to loving family. I feel like that's what's shifting. This tower is addressing the cracks in the foundation of a family system here. Some of you haven't seen a sibling in quite some time. It feels like, yeah, and I'm seeing children on the background here. Perhaps you have a sibling, perhaps a sister or a divine feminine whom you wish you were closer to. You wish your children could maybe grow up together, or perhaps you have a sibling or a family member who is becoming a grandparent or a parent in some way. There may even be someone who's had to take over the role or responsibility of parenting for maybe someone else's child, or maybe even an adult. Perhaps there's a loved one, an elderly parent who someone has taken care of. And I feel like there's a restructuring with the tower. There's a restructuring around what family means, what family energies are showing up for you at this time. Now, your hope is the Knight of Cups. Your hope is that you can receive this offer of love, that now that you've done the healing work, that you can open your heart up to love again, that you can fully connect to yourself, body, mind, soul. This is a holistic take on yourself here. It's not just opening up the mind, right? It's not just opening up just the heart space. It is about you being able to see the alignment of all of the tools that we have here on this earthly plane, right? Especially the head and the heart, collaborating, connecting in order for you to take action towards your heart's desire. And that's what the Knight of Cups represents, you being open to love, emotional depth available here. Because some of you, perhaps that energy was blocked. Perhaps you were emotionally blocked in some way, or someone around you, someone that you've dealt with in the past, they weren't capable of fully giving you, excuse me, what it was that you truly seeked out of a union. It feels like there wasn't consistency here with the Knight of Cups as a fear. And perhaps this is how you perceived love, maybe even as a child. But I feel like that's shifting because it's been a long time coming. Look at your outcome. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcanas. Your outcome is the Temperance, Sagittarian energy around patience. I feel like this is patience being rewarded, and now's the time for change because you have the Tower here. So this is about remaining calm, trusting the process, because oftentimes the Temperance is associated with the angelic realm. You see the angels in the background. This is about miracles. This is about your prayers being answered. And that's why there's a restructuring happening here. But oftentimes we immediately distrust change. We fear change. That is very human of us. And I feel like there is change happening here for the highest good of everyone involved. And when this Temperance shows up, this is extreme self-control. It is tender loving care, and it's balance. So what's happening is you see the moon and you see the sun. There's also that eclipse energy coming from them. So I feel like they're crossing over here. So do pay attention to how this eclipse energy affects you, what shows up, what hidden truths with that High Priestess, what is being restructured here in your family of origin, within your own self, what shadows may be coming to the surface, because this is all being rebalanced out for you for your highest good in order for you to open up emotionally to connecting with someone again, to being able to open yourself up and feel happiness, feel warmth, feel like you are more than just a human doing, right? A human doing. You are a human being and you're a soul having this human experience, but it feels like you've been numb, or it just feels like you've been oscillating between, this ending, right? Knowing when to hold them, when to fold them. Now's the time to hold them, because I feel like you have this Ace of Pentacles. This new hand is being dealt to you, and you have in your hand the double aces. There's a beginning coming in for you, and it's time for you to fully embrace this new beginning, Leo. All right, let's get a message from the wisdom of the oracle. Wisdom of the oracle, please. Someone is maybe taking a class here as well. I feel like you're taking classes on metaphysics in some way, astrology, numerology, human design, Reiki. You may be taking classes, on anything in the occult or spiritual realm with the high priestess, maybe even learning tarot more, or just learning about yourself, because the more that you know about yourself, the more that you understand, you have this sense of awareness and how to work with these energies. And I feel like that's coming up here with this Page of Swords and the High Priestess. It's time to have that beginner's mind, even though you have a lot of experience and you're putting that experience to good use. I feel like you're still learning here. So there could be a graduation date coming up where you graduate from, learning something here. Now you have card 21. That's the World. And it says, clean it up. Clean it up. That's what this is all about. The Tower showing up here is about, making way for something new, something better to come in. Getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden. Sweeping away what is no longer needed. This is about cleaning house, both mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And if you're not sure how to do that, some of you may be looking at, how to sage a home or how to cleanse your space. I just feel like you are researching, you're looking into how to work through the Tower, okay? How to prepare. I also see some of you planning your beginning, or planning for some changes that are coming in here for you, because you have been doing a lot of research. Time to clear the air. Take a look at your side of the street and say what's on your mind. Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. Now here in the Northern Hemisphere, we just shifted into the spring equinox on the 20th of March. And so it is this season, right? Springtime that is activating the changes. Now, of course, Southern Hemisphere, it can be the fall time. You're still cleaning it up. It's still a seasonal shift happening here for you. It's the perfect time to do an inventory of your dynamics and see what's yours and what's not. To clean up the relationship. Everyone brings some baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered and your relationship will flourish. All right. So, cleaning it up here. Now, because we have the Tower and the research, the reminder here, be mindful that you're not focusing too much on other people right now, because I said that sometimes the emotional part can be suction cupped, kind of like a plunger to our face, where we forget about our own needs. We forget about ourselves with that Queen of Cups, trying too hard to be helpful, or maybe even taking on what belongs to others. So just be mindful of that. It talks about it in the protection message here. Don't clean up someone else's side of the street. Leo, not here, not now. This isn't your time to fold your cards. It's time for you to activate your path, your soul's journey here. You're not helping by freeing him or her of their responsibility. You're also not doing yourself of any favors. You just might be adding an even greater strain. You are loved. You don't need to be needed to be loved. That's an important message. You don't need to be needed to be loved. And sometimes we hang on to that belief at a very early age that we've been conditioned to feel like we are very much needed. And the only way that we are going to feel that love is if we are, taking care of or helping others in some way. The message is don't neglect yourself, because this is your time to shine. You are the one that is being dealt the hand. It is time for you to play the game of life here, to step back out there in some way. All right, Leo, let's get a few messages from your crystal spirits. At this time, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Nice big inhale. Hold it as long as you can. And release through the mouth with a nice deep sigh. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you to imagine the first crystal or gemstone that shows up in your mind's eye. Now, this could be a crystal that you are familiar with and maybe even know the name of. Perhaps your gemstone is showing up as a specific shape, size, or color. Your crystal could be giving off a frequency of unconditional love, protection, guidance, or strength. There is no right or wrong answer. And if you need a moment, Leo, just pause the video and come back when you're ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, where I draw one winner around the first of the month, all you need to do is drop your crystals, whether you know the name, whether it was the color that you saw, the size, whatever was showing up in your mind's eye, drop that in the comment section below. You can have one crystal, you can have 5. I'll enter you into the giveaway, where I post right back here on the community page. So please be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button. All right, your crystals for the month of April. You have Tiger's Eye here, and this is interesting. I think it was also either Gemini, maybe Taurus, that received Tiger's Eye as well. This is a very powerful crystal around focus. So if you are struggling grounding your energy or getting focused or even being able to see the new beginning, work with Tiger's Eye. It can activate your third eye chakra and help connect you to the higher realms. So Tiger's Eye, all about focus here. Some of you may be 56 years old. You may be born on the 21st, the 26th, or the 29th. You have hematite. Hematite is a very grounding energy. It brings in protection, strength, and power. So I feel like you are protected. And I said that earlier, as we've seen the sigils here on the High Priestess. You may be protecting your space, your energy. I feel like that is important in the month of April, so you don't take on other people's stuff. So you're able to really go within and listen to your own intuitive inner wisdom this month. You also have Labradorite. Labradorite here. Let's see. I think I have a Labradorite. Well, I'm not seeing it in front of me, but it is a very beautiful energy. You see all of the colors that are shining. So it's interesting because some of the crystals that you have, it feels like with a move, you're able to see a different perspective. So for example, if you look at this Tiger's Eye, just by moving it in a new way, you see that the whole perception shifts. Okay, so for some of you, I feel like your perception around a situation is shifting by making one small tweak or one small, change. So be mindful that the changes that are occurring here are beneficial for you here. Now I am getting you connecting to your spirit guides here through this beautiful vibration as well. And then lastly, you have card 21. Look at that. It's the third 21 in your reading. So we have the world, we have clean it up, and we have demortarite. So I'm actually going to take a little tiny sneak peek here at demortarite. It's a beautiful blue crystal, which is all about that throat chakra. It's about communication, but it's also about organization, orderliness, clearing out the clutter. And that's what the clean it up is reminding you. So demortarite spirit has appeared to encourage you to bring about orderliness in your interactions with others and in your thinking about your relationships. Now is the perfect time to journal about your thoughts, your feelings when it comes to the people you care about. If challenging emotions come up, be secure in knowing that divine guidance is there for you. Yes, it is. That's where you have that high priestess and that queen of cups. Demortarite spirit calls you to write lists, set plans for what you need in your relationships. You are entitled to receive love easily and naturally as you get honest with yourself. And that's what I see you doing with that Page of Swords. This is rigorous honesty. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. Love yourself enough to journal about your truth as you collect your thoughts and get organized when it comes to planning how you might improve or enhance your relationships. So journaling may be your best friend here, Leo, in the month of April. It can really help you get those thoughts down on paper. Now, I tend to have a journal practice daily where I pull three tarot cards, and I write spiritual realm, physical realm, and the potential. And then I'll pull cards for those areas. And then I like to go back and see how it is played out, how those energies have played out, and how I can create that potential, how I can manifest here the spiritual into the physical. So for some of you, perhaps you're pulling tarot cards, perhaps you are pulling oracle cards, or just meditating, doing some automatic writing even. So keep that in mind, because the Page of Swords, he writes everything down. You see that he has a book in front of him. So you're going to want to keep track here. You're going to want to maybe hold evidence is what I'm getting, so you can look back, because you're going to see how everything is falling into place. Even if it's difficult to see it while the Tower is here, you're going to see how everything is working out. The signs and symbols that are playing out for you at this time. All right. Leo, thank you so much for being here. If you resonate with the reading, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and again, hit that bell if you haven't already. Drop your crystals below. Thank you so much for tuning in, Leo. Lots of love.